Whether uniting as a team or going solo against the world, these players compete in the highest level of professional gaming. They are victors of the mind game, players that possess the X factor when performing in front of thousands. Their names are remembered in the Pro Gaming Hall of Fame. These are the icons of esports. Meet Hearthstone icon Chris Tsakopoulos, better known to the pro digital card game as Fenomeno. Master of all things theory crafting and rank climbing, Fenomeno is one of the main players to put Greece on the Hearthstone esports map. With every tournament he enters, fans around the globe watch his every move as he takes down other like-minded individuals in the Tour Stop and Grandmaster series.
Yeah, this is exactly
Why even try and do the math when Fino's doing it for us? That's why he's on the stage.
Hey,
That's why we're up here. Will Scarlet is pretending
what are you
that
talking about? I got it exact. I did math.
The 2018 to 2019 Hearthstone Championship Tour made its way to Orange County in the US, offering 256 deck-wielding wonders a chance to climb the ranks at the glorious esports arena. Fenomeno entered the Californian tournament with his variations of the Cube Warlock, Odd Paladin, Recruit Hunter, and Token Druid, meta-defining decks during Hearthstone's Year of the Raven.
Players like Rain.
It was a smooth ride to the finals, as Fenomeno delivered a dominant 3-0 performance to Tempo Storm's Amnesia and Muzzy during the playoffs' single elimination bracket.
12 armor, 13 life, 14 life, back down to 12, and that's it.
And that was just an absolutely explosive game. Having that Whispering Woods, buffing those to 2 to make sure they don't die to swipe. And look at that smile on Muzzy's face. I think he's pretty, okay, coming to terms that these series happens. And that's back-to-back 3-0s for Fino, taking out 2 Tempo Storm members.
French competitor Swids was the next to be hit by the Greek pain train, suffering a 3-0 loss. It was clear to viewers that Fenomeno was in a league of his own. His Silverhand army was brutal, ending the semi-final series to lock his spot in the Orange County Grand Final. Securing his spot in the final showdown, Fenomeno had just one more opponent to face in the competition. Team Complexity Gaming's Casey came to Orange County to win, and no one was going to stop him from completing his dream run through the Tour Stop bracket. The German-born card slinger earned his spot in the Orange County Grand Final after a narrow Game 5 win against Canada's Impact. Overrun by demons and a lifesteal hero power, Impact bowed out of the semi-finals. The first match of the Grand Final would be a battle of Warlock versus Druid, as Casey began ramping up his mana crystals. With a board full of Scarabs, Casey held the position of power in the first game. Alexstrasza showed herself to reduce Fino's health to 15, allowing the Scarabs to go to face and take the win. In retaliation, Fenomeno came back with his flavor of the Druid deck for Game 2. Prince Kalaseth came out early for Casey, increasing his minion stats by 1-1 permanently straight off the bat. The lengthy game of tokens and board clears went well into the day. Although Fino was enduring fatigue damage, a final Savage Roar on his Treants sealed his win and brought the Grand Final series to 1 game aside.
His own pressure on... I'm curious if he's supposed to double Volcano in the previous turn anyway, and just accept the fact that some amount of damage would kill him in that situation, but I don't really know.
Casey tried his luck again in Game 3 with the infamous Shudderwalk deck. This turn 9 minion replayed every Battlecry effect played previously, so it was imperative that Casey landed as many Battlecry minions in the early and mid-game in order to capitalize on the potential one-turn kill legendary minion. Unfortunately, Fino's cubes were in full effect. Casey found little value from the Shudderwalk and was forced to concede. Fino was now sitting at tournament point, but Casey was determined to find a win with his Shaman deck. Game 4 quickly became an entirely different story. This time around, Electra Storm Surge created back-to-back lava bursts, which greatly contributed to Fino's Game 4 downfall.
Exact mana for lethal too. Game 5 coming up. Casey finding a win with Shutterwalk. It looked like that was going to be the weakness here, and perhaps it still was, given its 2 losses, but it doesn't matter now. There's only 1 game left.
Both players were 1 win away from an HCT Orange County win. Locked in a Hunter mirror matchup, clear thinking and the luck of the draw would send one player home and crown the other tournament champion. The contest of board dominance unfolded in the arena. Prince Keleseth buffed Fenomeno's minions early as Casey strived to find an early solution. Ziliax grew from the magnetic keyword. Fenomeno's board presence was strong, leaving his opponent with limited options. With a cube full of raptors, a Hunter's Mark in hand, and 14 damage sitting in play, Fenomeno had full control of the game in the final seconds of the HCT Orange County Tour stop.
Deep breath from Fino. It's been a year-long pursuit. And finally, after numerous top 16s, Fino's gonna find himself winning a tour stop, taking out Casey 3 games to 2, and look at Fino's face after that win.
Without dropping a single point of health in Game 5, Fenomeno won the final game of the competition, crowning him a tour stop champion for the very first time. 9 months had passed after Fenomeno's HCT Orange County victory. The Hearthstone Year of the Dragon was now in full swing, and the online 2019 Grandmasters League was looking for the best of the best across the face of the earth to find its end-of-season global finalists. Now flying the banner for the honourable T1 Esports organisation, Fenomeno had qualified for Division A of the first EMEA Grandmasters season through the league's point system. Hearthstone talent like Bunny Hopper, Tice and Kalento fell to the might of the Greek star. Fenomeno soared to the top of the group stage rankings with 23 individual match wins. His dominant group stage performance placed him in the group stage playoffs, where he defeated German star Psycho for a seed into the online event's semi-finals. Khedgar, mixed with back-to-back Conjurer's Callings, created a robust board presence in the final few turns of the series. Grave Horrors prevented incoming damage while granting Fino the upper hand when it came to direct damage.
Ping 21 plus, yeah, Fino's got it.
That's enough. That means Fino gonna take the series 2-0 over Psycho and move on to the semi-finals on Sunday.
Fenomeno and his mage deck soon became feared by all when he took down Hearthstone legend Orange in the tournament's semi-finals. In 2 straight games, Fenomeno was unstoppable. Orange had to use all his cards to remove the Mountain Giant threat, but with a Pyroblast in hand, Fenomeno solidified lethal, sending him to the European Grand Final.
He needed to capitalize on damage, and he didn't.
And the Pyroblast in hand from Fino is gonna end the game and send Fino to the finals of the Europe Grandmasters playoffs.
Fans got behind Fino as he advanced to the final stage of the online tournament. It was there where he would square off with a familiar face. Recovering from his loss against Fino, Psycho made waves as he defeated Bunny Hopper and Division B leader Hunter Ace with his powerful Rogue deck. The German got his rematch. He would need to overthrow Fenomeno in a best-of-5 showdown to claim the European title. Fino had the perfect start in Game 1, unloading a Mana Cyclone on turn 2 to gain additional mage spell cards. The T1 player had full control of the board by turn 7. A Sea Giant started to make Psycho sweat as Fino kept chipping away at his health pool. Minions were traded several times over in the lengthy game, but things started to get worse for Psycho when a bananaed up Sea Giant slammed his face for 10 health, putting him at lethal one more time. Lackeys did what they could, but in the end, Game 1 was Fino's.
He's doing the best he can. He's trying to roll this onto a 2-drop, but that's not going to get him out of this mess. That is going to be lethal on the board for Fino.
2 more games and a trip to BlizzCon would be Fenomeno's. Only minutes later, Game 2 was underway. A turn 2 Fairy Dragon was a fantastic start for Psycho as Fino weighed up his early game options. Fino was able to get an 8/8 Mountain Giant out early, but with 2 discounted Vendettas in hand, Psycho quickly took back control. The Greek Card Slinger was able to get the perfect hand on turn 5. With so many spells in play and a Sorceress's Apprentice to discount them, Mana Cyclone refilled his hand in seconds with more and more playable options. Psycho was in a world of trouble. While he had next to no cards to spare, Fenomeno used his power of creation to find 2 reckless Rocketeers. In a single turn, Psycho was brought down to 7 health.
He has the 2 SI7 agents for it.
The Rogue deck player just never got the cards he needed and had to concede for a second time in the finals.
Right. I'm thinking he's dead no matter what else he does, so he might as well go down this line, look for that Ziliax. Doesn't find it. 7 remaining on board.
2-0 to Fino.
Fenomeno was just 1 game away from Grandmaster's glory. Psycho needed to beat out his opponent in the mulligan. Lackey cards could be the option he needed to finally overthrow Fenomeno.
Already drawn a card.
With Stargazer Luna and now a Sorcerer's Apprentice in play, draw was no longer a problem in Fino's foreseeable future.
This one that mattered.
If Conjurer's Calling with Khadgar in play wasn't enough, Fino unloaded Ziliax and 2 Sea Giants to create a superior board presence. Psycho was frightfully behind.
Everything else.
Trading minions as well as an ice cream peddler kept him in the game, but with another Giant and a Conjurer's Calling on the following turn, Fino consistently controlled the tempo of the game.
Pull one out of your hat this turn.
Grifter and a Blink Fox scurried to find a viable option through discovery mechanics, but nothing came up. Fino had this game in the bag.
Nope. Also no. I think that is going to do it. Psycho goes through the ringer. You can see what it means to Fino.
In 3 straight games, Fino landed a first-class ticket to the 2019 Global Finals live at BlizzCon. As one of the greatest Hearthstone players on Earth, Fenomeno continues to play and stream his games, theory crafting decks and climbing the ranks with every season that passes.
Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing esport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.